Hello and welcome to Perspectives. This is the grand finale, just before you, the people, have to make a decision. Apologies. A decision which is so crucial to the future of Pakistan that I don't think we've ever been at such an important crossroad. And unfortunately, for one reason or the other, there's a fear factor. There's a factor of there's unsurety. We're not sure where this decision-making process will go, whether it will even happen or not. Today's show is crucial. I won't take too much time. Two guests, one representing Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and one representing Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Group. And four very carefully selected people, not to work against them, but these are people who have great opinions, who have influence amongst you. And they will be asking them questions. So without wasting any further time, on my right, first guest from Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Dr. Arif Alvi. Dr. You don't need further introduction. Thank you very much for being here. From Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Group, Mr. Nehal Hashmi, who is late. We waited for a lot of time, but then we had to proceed because we can't wait that long. So I'm assuming Mr. Hashmi will join at some point during the show. If not, such is life. On my left, four brilliant people to ask questions. First, known to all of you, has been on the show, a very influential person. When I say influential, just a Twitter, Facebook presence, a social media presence, a social presence holds great weight. Her opinion holds great weight. Ms. Samra Muslim. Samra, thank you very much. A very influential blogger, again, from Twitter, Facebook world, from the world of blogging. A lot of influence. Ms. Sana Shaleen. Sana, thank you very much. A young gentleman who's been coming to the show and has made an impact so high that I just had to call him again, because one of those few young students who takes notes, has a plan, has an agenda, and asks very objective questions. Bilawal Khushro, thank you very much for being here. Last but not least, a young student from Zabis, brilliant, well-spoken, clear in her thought, and she's also an independent short film maker, Ms. Nehal Hashmi. Thank you very much for being here. My plan, Arif, was that I would give you both a short chance to say why should they vote for you, but unfortunately, since Nehal hasn't arrived yet, let's start.
Well, you may join us later and you can make a statement. I believe if I would go out today and ask for people to vote for me and for my party, there would be some clear indicators on where I would request people to change their opinion, number one, and to look in the future and see which party can deliver. I believe manifestos have been around. Manifestos usually become copy-paste items. Manifestos are then verbalized in a manner where promises are made. I believe manifesto preparation in Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has been excellent. Now, and all manifestos finally found similar. Sure. Why I would say it excellent? Because of our own needs. The first, in the last 2 years, we wanted to develop policies. And why? Not because we wanted to take them to the public, because policies will not get votes. Of course, a summary of the policies in a manifesto, of course, will get votes, but that is copied so frequently. We developed policies because we wanted to come into government running. So we did not have to wait for the bureaucracy to tell us what to do, and then it's the same.
You've done your homework.
We did our homework. And then we came up with the manifesto. But I would like to make a statement that rather than only the manifesto, people should be looking at the doability of politicians, the doability of parties. Those parties which have been there about 4 or 5 times in power, the doability factor has been very poor, because there's no spectrum in time where you could have said that the basic indicators in Pakistan of economy, well-being, of poverty, hunger, of progress have been very good. Every time Pakistan has gone down. So I would, if I would be asking people to vote for me, I would say that make a judgment call. Make a judgment call of those who have not performed. Don't make a judgment call on promises, but on performance, number one. Now, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has not been in government, therefore, the question arises that those who have not performed, here's a new party, which we are coming forward with, but the party's performance is exceptional in a number of areas. The performance of the leadership is also looked at. Mr. Imran Khan has done a lot of work, although social, but what what would I do in life? I would look at the social needs of my constituency. For example, in my constituency, NA 250, there are 3 Sasta Tandoors which have been running for the last 4 or 5 years. But the issue is not the fact that I'm asking votes because of that. The issue is that I was concerned of an area when the floor prices started going up. We established a trust who started doing this. So that concern and that performance should have been there. Probably nobody knew it until I'm making a statement today that that is what was happening in my constituency. So therefore, Imran Khan's performance as far as making institutions is important. Making institutions is related to the leadership. We were in England for some time in a parliamentary delegation, which I was there too, and one of the ministers made a statement that the cooperation between the intelligence branch and the politician side happened only because the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister, wanted a meeting every week. So therefore, the performance or the probability of making institutions. Mr. Imran Khan established Namal College. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has had its own elections, which is a huge task. So when we compare the performance of my party with others in government and my party outside government, having elections with 7.5 million members was a huge task. You saw people fought about it, people went to courts, but it was a vibrant election. So what I am saying is the doability factor must be looked at, number one. Number two, the performance of previous government should be looked at. Number three, Pakistan needs a change. Geopolitically, it belongs in an area where India is making progress, where Sri Lanka is making progress. So it's a doability factor which is there. We can make progress with the right leadership.
Okay. Mr. Nehal Hashmi has joined us now. Thank you very much, albeit late. And
he's been in government 5 times, so he can afford to be late. We are looking for coming into government, so we have to be on time.
Today the plan is I'm not taking any positions. I'll be very quick. A very brief and short profile of why people should vote for you, and then it's questions from them. I'm not interfering.
Question arises regarding the political parties.
Mm-hmm.
3 subjects, 3 things are very materialistic and important. Number 1, your plan, program, and your manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, your past experience, deliverance. Number 3, your performance. In 1990, PML-N and its leadership, Nawaz Sharif, became the Prime Minister of Pakistan. And during that period, what we promised, we tried to give more than that. We built infrastructure of Pakistan, particularly mass communication, mass transaction and communication, whatever you could say. It is cellular phone or fiber optic. It is Jinnah terminal or motorway. It is Gwadar port, coastal highway. A lot of things has been built. It is Jinnah view overhead bridge or Nipa bridge or KPD bridge, a lot of bridges. And then in terms of finance, we give independence to the state bank. We decentralize the control of Ministry of Finance. We gone for one window operation of trade and commerce, and we put off this res fita, what we call it, bureaucratic system.
Mm-hmm.
We abolished green channel and we abolished
Open
the octroi system. We introduced to defend Pakistan missile system F-Thunder 17. We gone for Ghazi Brotha Dam. We gone for Chashma power plant. And at that time in the 90s era, not in our region, but in Asia, our GDP growth has gone 8.6. Unfortunately, there was a conspiracy who don't want to see Pakistan progress and prosper. And it was just given 26 months. And again in 1997, we came to the power. We did what we did, not only yellow cap, green tractor, 16 acres of land, and many more things. Atom bomb to establish Pakistan, to strengthen Pakistan, nuclear missile, and a lot of other things. Now, we have obtained only twice the national power politics. And twice we have been thrown out by the conspirators. Number 2, we never given opportunity to finish and complete our tenure. We never gone for 5 times or 6 times
Okay,
bari.
I need to stop
No,
it.
because no, you have told me.
I gave you a
told
short
me.
time.
No.
You're taking too long. We have to take questions. I gave you a short time. You can't extend it. Nida, would you like to start?
What she's saying is that nuclear bomb is considered to be as a power, as an element of power. But isn't it also considered as a threat to the country? A. B, coming back to the threat point, parties like MQM, ANP and PPP are going through a lot of threats, like, in the policy making and whatnot. Kafi log bhi unke mar gaye. But I don't see anything happening to your party. Why is that?
Well, I'd like to say thank God, and may it not happen to anyone, and may it not happen to anyone in this country, but the question is valid. But my answer should be short.
Every rich man, every big company always have a security system. Undoubtedly, we are too rich in human resources and mineral and a lot of things. Alhamdulillah, to secure that wealth, we need a very strong defense system. And that nuclear deterrent is not a threat to us. It is a threat to the enemies of Pakistan. Number one question. Number two, yes, everyone should be given a opportunity to perform in political battle. It is not we who has put in any hurdle to them. And for the sake of record, I'd like to mention here that one Raja Anis of our party has just 3 days back, he has been killed in Model Colony. One office has been burnt in Kotri. 5 persons has been injured. 1 has been killed in Kotri. 1 person has been killed in Dadu of PML-N. So this is a ongoing practice in particularly in our region, in Pakistan, India and Bangladesh. This is election myth and psychology. So if there is an hurdle for other parties, as you have mentioned, the coalition partners of previous ruling government, we are facing the same problem here in Karachi. It is not that we have given an opportunity that we can move very freely and we are having so many big jalsas and rallies. Suraj, sun is giving the same light to us and to them.
Yeah,
so
but,
it is not.
But you will have to admit it's burning a few more than it's burning others. Bilawal?
Now you said a really beautiful thing that you have to look into the doability of things. When you're giving away a manifesto to the public, you have to not only look into the manifesto but also what can be achieved through that. Mr. Imran Khan has been lately giving away a lot of really fancy statements like there will be no corruption in 90 days, I will wipe out corruption and I will do this and that. My only question to you is that you're not ready to be in a coalition with the 3 major parties of the country, right? PML-N, People's Party and PML-Q. Now, you have 0 presence in Senate right now. Let's suppose you manage to take out 170 seats in the general elections, then you manage to make your own government. But you have 0 presence in the Senate, which means that you won't be able to pass a single law for the first 2 years until unless the Senate elections happen. Now, how will you wipe out corruption in 90 days if you have 0 presence in Senate, you're not able to pass a law?
Are you aware that in Pakistan the laws are good, but there is no implementation? Are you aware that for terrorism even, there is nobody who has been tried in a court of law? There were 22,000 people arrested in the Pakistan Army action in SWAT and FATA. Not a single person was brought through the courts of law. Isn't it surprising? We have
there were people who were brought into the court. They were given away bails, right?
If you allow me the opportunity, I would be able to answer you. And then if you feel that my answer is not up to the mark, you may question me again. But let me complete my thought process on that. What I'm making a statement was that 22,000 people were arrested and nobody was brought to a court of law. We've done such major action in SWAT and FATA and KP for the last 10 years. Now in Karachi, there's so many people who have been killed. People make statements that 20,000 were killed in the last 15 years and 5,000 in the last 4 or 5 years. Not a single person has been tried in a court of law and sentenced in these 10 or 15 years. Only one murder of the PSO, chairman PSO, and that was brought through the process because people were able to.
So what you're suggesting is you'll enforce existing laws.
What I am suggesting is that the laws are not being implemented. The laws are not being implemented because there is no will. What is happening in Karachi, for example, that those who are arrested are released. The prosecution does not prepare cases, the forensics does not complete the process well, and then there's political influence on the process. So my statement is that the will to do it is the laws are there, the constitution is there, it's a good constitution. But if there is no will to implement the constitution, it's the same thing like you make queues in Karachi. You don't make queues in Karachi, but as soon as you land in Dubai, you make queues. Everybody knows that there is a first come, first served basis. Nobody does it because it is not being implemented. So what I am suggesting to you that Senate or no Senate, whatever happens, whatever complications are there, will be handled as it comes. But the will of the executive to implement the laws in Pakistan does not require new legislation.
So that is your...
Number one.
Okay.
Number two, he had another question that we are not going into coalition. We are not into an alliance today because we thought if we make an alliance, we'll be carrying other people's baggage. So we decided about 2.5 years ago, and that's why most major parties did not go into an alliance with anybody. They are working together, but not in an alliance.
According to the weightage of results,
yes,
they would
because we made a statement that we don't want to carry any baggage. This is the first time in the history of Pakistan that major parties are not in an alliance.
Okay, I'd like to add a
So, but
related question
coalition
quickly.
is a different question.
Sure.
When we get elected, the dynamics of an elected numbers is very different.
Okay, very quick question, and I'll like very short, like Sana's question. Hasn't PTI, by calling everyone a kettle, shut doors for any kind of coalition with anyone? You're a solo flight.
You would be very surprised, Faisal. The history of politics in Pakistan is
so PTI will do the same thing. It doesn't matter what you call them, you will join them.
No, it's such that people have said everything and still people have been found in bed together in the next day.
So you will do that too?
I'm not saying that. I'm making a statement. I'm making a statement that we have made statements, but when we come into power, for example, and we need cooperation of parties, that cooperation can be on specific points.
No, but you need a coalition number of seats count.
But that's hypothetical. That's hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
When we come into power, or coming into power requires a coalition. If the numbers are less, even a dynamic opposition can do a lot.
No, but
that is why
forming government is, the question was coalitions. So my question, you've called everyone. If you're not PTI, you're the devil's child.
Doesn't that happen in the US? Doesn't that happen in the US?
No, they're not.
No, in the primaries. In the primaries. Doesn't it happen in the US in the primaries?
But not like that. They don't call each other the devil's child. Here, everyone's the devil's child. If you're not PTI, you're the devil's child.
I've not called anybody a devil's child.
I'm just
So my
figurative.
question is to both of you. General Parvez Jamia, Chief of Army Staff, recently gave a very strong statement. I don't know what took so long to make that statement, but the statement was very clear that this is our war, and that anybody that says that it isn't is in the wrong. There is no doubt about the fact. Now, one of the major problems that I've had with Mr. Imran Khan, the PTI, as well as PML-N, is that, and specifically with Mr. Imran Khan, is the constant pandering that this is not our war, that this is we are carrying the burden of the US, and that this is the repercussions of our foreign policy, which is very clearly, as I see it, an appeasement to the terrorists. Now that the Chief of Army Staff has clearly come out and said that, what is your stance on that? And why hasn't both the leadership been very strongly and by name condemning this? And how long should we wait? It can't be that one day we're very happy that Imran Khan is the only politician who's named Lashkar-e-Jhangvi by name when those attacks on Hazara happened. And the next day we find ourselves confused why he's not naming TPP by its name and calling out the Taliban attacks. And also in a war that has killed more than 30,000 people and soldiers, saying that this is not our war and this is collateral damage.
My statement to you is that when we made a statement when the United States attacked Afghanistan, Imran Khan came out the second day on television. He was the first politician who condemned that, and he said this is not the way to go about it. It had to be focused. If you're going against Al Qaeda, it had to be focused. You don't do a regime change for that. And you know the repercussions what are happening right now. And the same thing, the similar policies have been similar policy has started in Syria. The same thing happened in Iraq, and these are killing fields for the Muslims. Now, let me make a statement very strongly that when Imran Khan made a statement in 2002 when Kabul was attacked, he made a statement, you must talk to the Taliban. Was that appeasement? So it's not an issue of appeasement, it's an issue of understanding. And please don't mix up Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, Taliban, Balochistan,
saying that we have to negotiate is appeasement. Do you think so? I absolutely believe that.
Throughout the history of the world, every negotiation has been appeasement. I'm sorry.
Not somebody who has a gun in the mouth.
I'm sorry. The gun in the mouth with the IRA, there was a negotiation. There was no appeasement.
But they didn't have a gun in the mouth.
The Tamils, the Sri Lankan government negotiated with them throughout the world.
But
please
first they beat them to pulp.
It may be your opinion, but don't mix appeasement with negotiation.
Was beaten down to pulp before negotiation.
No.
Absolutely. They beat the hell out of them.
The history of Sri Lanka says it was a 16-year war. And at least
which the government was winning.
At least four times, everything was brought on the table.
Okay.
So, a negotiation is not appeasement.
So you're not appeasing, and you're strongly condemned.
No, you're putting words in my mouth. I have not been able to answer a question.
Okay, please go on.
I have not been able to answer a question. Her statement mixed up Lashkar-e-Jhangvi with Taliban, and
I'm not mixing
You said you condemned this. Why don't you condemn that?
Yes. But I said that we want the one thing that hasn't happened with Imran Khan, which a lot of people, let me say, that expect more from him than they expect from other politicians. That is the mandate that PTI is carrying, that we are the change, that we are bringing in something new.
Your question, please.
My question was, and the reason why I mentioned Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, that was brilliant. I was appreciating while also being critical.
You're saying why don't we do the same thing for Taliban?
Yeah, why is that one time?
That's what I'm trying to answer.
Please go ahead.
Because these are different. Our manifesto describes, because I wrote that part of the manifesto which talks about terrorism. And please understand that terrorism there are 6 kinds of terrorism which is happening in Pakistan. One is Tehreek-Taliban Pakistan. One is Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, the Balochistan Liberation Army, the linguistic terrorism which has been happening in Karachi, the sectarian terrorism, and there are 5 or 6 different things. All of them require a different approach. All of them, the causes of all of them are different, and all of them require a different approach.
Not worth condemning. Okay. But that's what you're saying.
If you want to put words in my mouth, I'm trying to tell you. So don't put words in my mouth. Just go across.
But just be direct. You're saying
I'm not saying that.
And TTP are different.
I never said that. TTP is not
was
worth condemning.
direct. The question was direct. You call A, but B you say, well, that's different.
Of course it's different. Okay. Can anybody tell me Lashkar-e-Jhangvi and TTP are the same thing? I'll have a second thing.
The actions are the same.
Their actions, the killing in Karachi, for example, the killing in Karachi, is blood different? No blood is different.
No, but
there's a terrorism which is happening everywhere. No blood is different. But the reason for the killings, if you understand the causes, then you will come to the solutions.
Okay.
If you mix up the causes, the solutions will be also mixed up.
Okay. The causes justify. Sir.
Brother, the question is long debatable. I know few words. Number one, I don't recognize TTP. Who is TTP? Where it is? What is its existence? What is the face of TTP? I only know Taliban, who are the freedom fighters and who has all the right to defend their homeland. They are the only Taliban. They are the freedom fighters. And every religion, UN Charter, and every morality gives a right to every individual. Indigenous fighting is their right, basic, fundamental right. But it is not an issue of terrorism that one single army general or one single political party can resolve.
No, but I'm sorry.
Whatever happening in Pakistan, terrorism in any form, but as my brother has mentioned, it is sectarian, it is linguistic, whatever, so-called TTP, Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, whosoever, one person's killing, we can't tolerate. We strongly condemn. On the other hand, I am not the only stakeholder.
I'm sorry,
let me finish. But I am not the stakeholder. What is the stance of my party?
So you have to be direct.
That every political party, including
You're giving a very political answer. I'm going to ask you a direct question again on behalf of Sana. No, let's not go around. PTI is called PTI. Whether it's hypothetical or real, it doesn't matter. Whoever that person is, maybe it's a grandmother's tale, but it's called TTP. If it's real or not, I have no idea. I have not met them. But it's called TTP.
we cannot put
Can
the
we
women
get Arif
as
answer
a
this
product.
quickly?
Please,
Unless you want to add to
all
this.
three of you,
I want
we
to
have
add
a
to
great respect for women, the most precious, the most respectable, the most honorable thing in our society is our women.
Very short
So
of
we
time.
cannot sell them out. Tomorrow, I don't want to make, I don't want to put that word, I don't want to put, it is an honor, my dear, it is an honor. And when you are representing the state, you have to follow the state
So
policy.
that means you are right wing, and that means you're extremist right wing, and you're
No,
going to support that.
extremist and right are two different things. We are not
Okay,
extremist.
fine. So you.
We
okay,
are
fine.
not
Please,
a
let's
media
just
political.
talk.
Okay.
आपको पहले
Nida wants to
समझना
add a
पड़ेगा।
question to English
Yeah.
only, please.
I would just like to say, Madhav के साथ आपको पहले ये समझना होगा कि right wing क्या होता है, which means basically conservative extremist party, ठीक है? It's not about being right, ठीक है? तो वो
Correct,
आपको
right.
थोड़ा सा देखना होगा, समझना होगा। दूसरी चीज ये,
Might be
कि
this
आप-
is your dictionary,
मैं जरा बात
conservative and rigid.
कंप्लीट कर लूँ सर। अच्छा, दूसरी चीज ये कि आप अपनी पार्टी को
Could you please
moderate,
ask in English?
okay, do you consider your party to be moderate, liberal
Oh yeah.
and secular?
No secular. Why secular? When we have a complete code of life, what is the meaning of secular?
This is right. This is the right wing. That definition may not be true in my mind. This is semantics. When you say, for example, secular, secular in most contexts, and the late Mr. Iqbal Haider was intending to form a secular movement, and there was a debate on Press Pakistan, and they said that in the context where secular has been used in Pakistan, mostly it means anti-religious. And he himself and a lot of people, and in fact, the lady who wrote a book on business, army, Milbat, Aisha Siddiqa, she also, in the same statements, meant that secular is generally considered anti-religious. So therefore, let's come to what it means. Not what secular means, but what should be the ideals of a society. Now, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf starts from the state of Medina as the liberation of men and liberation compared to the society that exists.
In the interest of time, may I interject?
Yeah.
It's a
I
very
have
direct
just-
question. Let's go to Medina and Prophet and the Qa'id.
Let's
I will not be
talk
able to
about
frame my answer.
someone else's definition.
If you
Okay.
can tolerate 10 minutes of debate there,
You want those
should
10
allow
minutes?
me. You just allow me.
That was not a
No, I don't.
debate. That was.
I don't.
That was just his stance
I
on
think
something.
Somebody just lost the vote, right?
Yeah,
I would
totally.
have
Thank
completed
God you're
the
not
answer.
standing for my constituency
I-
against Jamaat Islami. Have they given up their vote? Yeah. Okay.
Which
I-
cons-
let-
let-
let me-
different constitution.
Let me complete my answer. And
Oh,
then,
this is my vote.
the modern, our vision statement was a modern Islamic welfare state, where all these four words are defined separately. It's not an Islamic welfare state in that context, a modern Islamic, where there were three things: the state of Medina, Allama Iqbal's vision of ethos and Muslim Ummah, and thirdly, and the closing statement was Quaid-e-Azam's speech on August 11th, where all minorities, Mr. Jinnah said that you can go to your synagogue, you can go to your mosque, you can go to your mandir, but as far as the state of Pakistan are concerned, you're all equal citizens. So that's what we base on. And if you call this right wing, I'm sorry, I don't understand right wing. But Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is leftist in its economy, where we want to have health, social welfare and education as part of the right of citizens, where we want no person in Pakistan, it's a dream, but it will come true. No person in Pakistan should die because he doesn't have enough money, or should live in pain because he doesn't have enough money. That is what I call a leftist economy, because capitalism is not doing this. Capitalism, if you go to the US or any other country, if you don't have the money, there is a possibility that your treatments and everything will go slow. So that way we are leftist, but we are rightist in the intent that this is a Muslim country, and Islam as a debate on rights of human beings. Now, you've been talking about parda, for example, or a headscarf. I would love that you would talk about the fact that 22,000 people were arrested and there were no human rights issues. Where was the progressive?
But that's fine.
You see, that's the
But
left.
the question is direct from their own interest. So
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
say we should talk about that.
No, I
This
think
is what we're
priority.
talking about.
I think priority.
No, you can't even tell them this is not PML-N.
I am sorry,
This
but
is
the
citizens.
fine, but my
Their priorities are straight.
But my priorities are different. My priorities start with inflation.
Your priority.
You're asking us, sir.
Yeah,
But you're asking for the vote. That's why they're asking you.
Yeah, so let me present my priorities to you.
That's what
Because that's what you want.
Decide.
You want to hear my priorities.
Okay.
Is inflation, is education, is
That's-
joblessness.
That is
Sir,
absolutely.
These are
how
my
does
priorities.
that impact quality of
and
my
please
life?
tell me, please let me just be a little short. because you've been sharp in your questions. Let me be a little sharp. I think the debate on women's rights should be there. I think rather than corner the
Debates have always been there.
but
No one's
you
doing
should read
anything about it,
madam, you should read our gender policy then. You should read that we have talked about not the fact that women should be given jobs, but we have talked about changing the mind frame where culture is
Which is
putting
crucial.
women
Which is good. That's something.
which is
crucial.
into
That's
subservience.
That's crucial.
So I think that kind of debate is probably when you talk about right and left, the issues of women, the issues of rights of all the downtrodden people, the issues of human rights of people who are arrested and not tried, or people who are being killed and their killers are not being arrested. That's a big issue. So Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf wants to bring a change.
PTI is not pro-Taliban.
No. Have you ever heard that statement? Why do
But
you?
Taliban is saying they're pro-PTI, so
ask that from the Taliban.
you haven't denied it.
What?
The
I'm
statement
saying
your
they're
party
not,
leader has
they
said he has
shouldn't
gone
be
out.
they shouldn't be pro PTI, but that is somebody saying that we are pro PTI. I don't think they've said that, but if they've said it, you ask them. And do you know what they've said?
Sir, but like
Have you now let's put this debate in perspective. It'll be very easy. What does the Taliban put on the table? Do you know what have they put on the table?
right now,
because-
all I see Taliban is doing a lot left, right, and center of killing.
Fine. But I said what I was making a statement that a statement had come out from the Taliban, which is why all parties held APCs. There was an APC called by Jamiat Ulama Islam. There was an APC called by ANP. Why did they call that APC? Because there was a written statement which came out of the Taliban, and that statement should be debated on whether.
Why not a verbal one? So I now have about 8 minutes. I'll try to take it as quickly as possible. What I suggest is short questions from each of you, and we'll give them 3 minutes each.
I would like to ask you this question. As being a part of media and studying media sciences itself, and also talking to my friends all the time, within one issue that I've come across with PTI is basically the transparency. Where is the money coming from?
Oh, absolutely. Good question.
Because there's been campaigning happening so much, and it's all over the place.
Okay.
So,
And also the spend is way beyond what Election Commission allowed.
Sir, my question to you, you had a really long debate on secularism and Islamic justice right now. So, I assume that you consider yourself an Islamic party, right? But Islam tells you to protect the minority. What happened in Lahore with the Christian village? Why did you say your prophet and Islam?
And in Gojra.
And in Gojra as well, yes. Yes. You actually, you have to agree that you failed that you failed to protect the minorities. Now, I don't bother about now you're making them new houses or whatever. The damage has been done. What did you do to catch those stuff? This is my question.
The question to you is that this extension of what Bilal asked is that under the PML-N government in Punjab, there is a situation which PML campus being distributed against the MLDF community. There's also been discussion of those rates. There hasn't been CRs as well. There was once when Ms. Mia Nawaz Sharif condemned, very strongly condemned, the attack on the Ahmadiyya mosque in Lahore, calling them our brothers, but it sort of attacked left, right, and center. After that, we've gone back to appeasement again. If you are, well, as you said, believe in Islam, where have you or has your party not failed Islam by not protecting minorities? Again, what I wanted to ask you was that you explained, you went to step 2 to explain the question and skip step 1 with all due respect. I'm not saying that we cannot look at the root cause of the problem. When Imran Khan, or as a matter of fact, when anybody says, even political analysts like Noam Chomsky, others have also said that the repercussions or these militant groups are a repercussion of US or Pakistan foreign policy. That we're not denying. But if somebody comes to my house, breaks in, steals something, murders my father, rapes my sister, I'm not going to say, okay, let me not get this criminal arrested. Let me think. He must be psychologically unwell. He must be having frustrations at home. He must be poor. Why are you missing the first step? We are not saying that the first step is condemn them and say that this is the TTP that is doing this and they are killing Pakistanis. Imran Khan will have my vote if he says that it is the TTP that is killing Pakistanis. That needs to be condemned and that needs to be resolved. We need a counter-terrorism strategy to resolve that. No, not in my words. In whatever words, it is a political party. He has a leadership. Of course, he's much wiser than I am to be able to force it. I'm giving you my civilian voter's perspective, and then talk about the root cause.
Okay, Samra.
I still am not like from either of the parties over here. Just as an individual, my concerns remain the same. My quality of life. Yes, you talk about all these big picture questions and big picture issues that you're going to solve. But I'm a Karachiite living in Karachi. We're the biggest economic center, but you're sitting out there going for votes and canvassing votes in Lahore and the entire Punjab region, which is fine because that's where the massive populace is sitting for your National Assembly vote bank. But the economic center is Karachi, and none of your leaders, since this whole political canvassing has started, have bothered coming to my city and actually asking for my vote.
So no Jalsa in Karachi.
No Jalsa in Karachi, no comments for Karachi, no open, no open condolences for what has happened in Karachi.
Dr. Saab, transparency of the campaign, the amount spent was way beyond the Election Commission budget, and personal damage, which cannot be analyzed, it has to be dealt with, and then we can analyze as well.
Okay. Now, the campaign funding. The campaign funding, there's a Naya Pakistan fund on our website. All the funding is going there and it's absolutely transparent. And our accounts, now, you should understand the fact.
That includes the media spend?
It does include it. You should understand the fact that the ceiling on the campaign spending is not for political parties. The ceiling is for candidates. My ceiling is 15 lakh rupees, I'll stay within it. But therefore, we have requested the party to pick up the major tab, like flags, like a lot of things. The party is picking up the tab. There's no ceiling for the party, to answer that question. Now, your question
Which is interesting,
yeah,
actually.
it's very interesting.
Personal damage,
No,
personal injury.
She's saying that
Somebody's
we should
attacked
make
me in my house. I don't care what your reasoning is. I want that dealt with.
We should look at the reasoning, but
But
all
later.
we're hearing is the
I
reasoning.
condemn every person killed in Pakistan or elsewhere in the world, every innocent person. And
But her
this
question
what
is, what's the action
she
first?
said
What's the
first
action
condemn it.
first?
You're condemning
Condemn.
DPP?
Okay, fair. Right, agree.
Of course, if they're killing innocent people, they have to be
If
condemned.
it's based on the claims
Of
there.
course they are, right? So that has to be condemned. What I'm saying is, now just condemning, I see this very often. Why don't you condemn them like this? Why don't you condemn them like this? But what I'm saying is the policy of the government has been very poor as far as handling
that's
these
done
things.
and over. They're
So
gone.
therefore, if you don't debate how to handle it, it is ridiculous. We condemn what is happening in Karachi. Hear me out.
But they open to debate, but
She asked
I don't
about
have time.
Karachi. We condemn everything every day in Karachi. Anything has happened? Nothing.
Nehal, and Dr. Saab, no Jalsa in Karachi quickly.
No Jalsa in Karachi.
Why not?
Why not? Because we thought there were two reasons. And I gave it on my Twitter account. And I said one reason is that other parties are not able to hold the rallies and functions. And if we hold a peaceful one, it will be obviously something that it's an skewed field, number one.
Oh, so you could
Number
do a
two,
peaceful one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was scared. And the second thing was that the security concern was very obvious for us.
More than Balochistan?
More than Balochistan and Karachi today.
Okay, more than
we can be
Waziristan?
unsafe, but the political leaders can't be.
I didn't say that. The
But he's
political
not
leader.
coming here.
Please hear me out. Don't put. You see, this is ridiculous. You say,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
So
whoa.
hear me out. Hear
Please
me out.
retract. Please
Hear me out.
Retract.
This is ridiculous. Means this is not
You-
fair.
You do not deal with the voters like that.
This is ridiculous. The statement is ridiculous. I can always say the statement is not good. I can always say the
That's
statement
fine.
is not good.
You've said it. It's
Why
their
not?
decision.
Yes,
Go ahead.
of course. So
Stand.
what I'm saying is that I believe very strongly. Please,
Environment.
if you don't want to hear me out.
I've heard you out.
Okay.
Nehal Saab,
That shouldn't happen on a talk show. That if you need an answer, the answer has to be
if
made.
they're not content with the answer, this there, right?
I didn't even answer.
Okay, please.
But
Then
she said
after-
I didn't answer.
Okay.
She made a statement.
But I need time.
She made
I'm
a
short on
statement
time, sir.
that the leader has to be safe and the people cannot be. And I'm
not,
saying the
sir.
people are there. People are there all the time. And my leader does not even wear a vest. My leader does not travel with that kind of security. So my leader travels the way all people are. If my leader is unsafe, so are we unsafe. So it's not a differentiation between the leader and the people.
Nehal Saab, I think your mobile zone is making a lot of crackles, so please request shut the phone. Protection of minorities, condemnation, support for Ahmadis and Shias. There was an initial one and then you moved away, and no Jalsa in Karachi.
You cannot avoid any unwanted natural calamity, disaster, or some kind of this kind of incident. The
Natural
thing is,
calamity is an act of
and-
God.
and
This
this-
is an act of man.
just this kind of act is also you cannot avoid. You don't know who is doing what tomorrow, what is in someone's mind, in his heart. I can't judge you.
Okay.
There is no machine. But afterwards, what we did, we made a history. Within week time, we rebuilt the houses. Not a single person has killed.
That's
And
that's part of the
let me
question. Not
finish.
but that's part of the question.
Khudagawasta,
But you should have
let
come
me
early. I would have
finish.
given you more
Don't
time.
become a dictator.
You should have come on time. I would have given you more time.
151% has been rounded up. They booked under ATC Act. Okay. And number
No
two,
condemnation in the Ahmadiyya Shia cases.
Yes, we have already condemnation is there. You just go through the record.
Okay.
See, our party do have a lot of Shia brothers. There
Well,
is no
everybody
difference.
does. They,
So,
alhamdulillah, part
on
of
the other hand,
society.
if my leader's message is coming through various television networks, if it is clear,
But they are obviously not listening for some reason. No Jalsa in Karachi.
no, Karachi, because we are passing through a lot of difficulty, but we are going
What
to each and every house through our
No, the question
advertisement.
is no Jalsa in Karachi.
We will have Jalsa, inshallah. The
When?
answer,
Block your calendar.
my brother has replied the same.
Security issues.
Security for the leaders we safe, but the people living here, not important. And our votes don't matter.
I'm going to extend by like 30 seconds. Anything you want to say, they won't have a chance to answer. unfortunately.
They are billboards in Lahore. It's not only about the attacks. There are billboards in Lahore and pamphlets in Lahore spreading hatred about Ahmadiyya community. It's not just one incident. There are far too many.
Anything you'd like to add, Bilal, before you go?
It's the same thing, sir, that you said, that you came to the same point that we made houses for them. It's just like you first cut out someone's hand and then you're giving him an artificial limb.
Even in
Okay.
UK, brother, the minorities are not safe. Even in UK, very recently, one
That's not
doctor and
an
5
excuse, sir.
children has been burned. So you don't know what is going to happen
Okay.
in someone's mind and
Is
society.
there any
as well.
closing comments? Quickly.
You always talk about, your party always talks about Punjab and development over there, but we don't really see anything happening in Karachi. There were operations done and there were so many people killed in that. So if you really want people to understand what your policies are and what you are about, you need to actually have a clear mindset and you need to be direct about what you're saying.
Samran,
We are very
Nothing?
clear about
Thank you very
Karachi.
much, all of you.
And every Pakistan city,
Sir, thank you very much. I've run out of time. My apologies. I don't even have time to close. I will say very quickly, since this is the last show before elections, for God's sake, vote under all circumstances. Even if there's a threat, somehow get out. Protect yourself. Vote. Vote with wisdom. This is the future of Pakistan you're stamping on. Good or bad, please. This their opinion, not necessarily is all bad with them. This may have been a very under pressure show for them, but that's okay. Dr. Arif Alvi's party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, sure there are questions, but there's a lot of good, a lot of hope. Mr. Nehal Hashmi's party, Pakistan Muslim League Namaz Group, sure there are a lot of criticism and questions. But if you look back in history, yes, the phones we use, the roads we drive, of course, PML-N did a lot of good work, but bad work as well. I leave the decision to you, and I beg you and urge you, please vote. Until next time, thank you very much.